to curb corrupt practices and mobilize others to join the crusade against corruption. So help me God.
FIRS declares zero tolerance for corruption. New leadership takes over at CITN. The war is over. CITN ICAN MEND FENCES. As the saying goes, the year 2021 is now split right down the middle. We thank God for His mercy so far, and we pray for His guidance and protection as we navigate through the remaining months of the year. Remember, as we reminded you last week, if your company's accounting year is January to December, then your company's income tax returns and payments are due at the end of June. To make life easier, the Federal Inland Revenue Service has introduced a tax administration solution known as TaxPro Max. TaxPro Max enables seamless registration, filing, payment of taxes, and automatic credit of withholding tax, as well as other credits to the taxpayer's account. The solution also provides a single view to taxpayers of all transactions with the FIRS. Effective June 7, 2021, the TaxPro Max becomes the channel for filing Naira-denominated tax returns. Therefore, going forward, all taxpayers are by this notification put on notice that 1. All Naira-denominated tax returns are to be filed via the TaxPro Max solution in order to generate the obligatory document identity number, DIN. Taxpayers will not be able to pay without DIN, and as such, taxpayers wanting to submit their tax returns manually must visit the relevant tax office, where FIRS personnel will be on hand to assist them to upload the returns and generate DIN. In view of the time it might take to upload manual returns and generate DIN, taxpayers are encouraged to bring manual returns for upload at least 2 weeks before the due date. And finally, qualified personnel of the service are on hand to assist taxpayers experiencing challenges in filing returns under TaxPro Max. They may be reached via email at taxpromax@firs.gov.ng. Taxpayers who are yet to get their user credentials are advised to visit the nearest FIRS tax office to be on board. TaxPro Max can also be accessed via www.taxpromax.firs.gov.ng.
London, New York or Lagos, business or holiday, home or office, you can now carry out your tax transactions from anywhere in the world. You can now file all your tax returns, pay online, get a receipt, and even process your tax clearance certificate from anywhere in the world online and in real time. All you need to do is log on to www.firs.gov.ng and click on e-services and be introduced to the world of innovation, convenience, and transparency from the FIRS. You can also pay stamp duty as you register a new company with the CAC, or for other transactions that require stamp duty payment online. You can also file your withholding tax returns and determine the withholding tax deducted from you is in government covers, so that you can get your receipt within 45 days as long as the deduction has been remitted. Yes, all of this and more online at www.firs.gov.ng/e-services. FIRS, making tax administration as easy as ABC. Please note that all FIRS services are free of charge. This message is from the Federal Inland Revenue Service. It pays to pay your tax.
Thank you for staying with us. Revenue House Abuja has been a beehive of activities in recent days. On Friday, the 21st of May, the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers came calling at Revenue House Abuja. Mr. Olatunde Amolebe led the CIS delegation.
The Institute has been in close partnership with the FIRS for quite a while, and we are desirous for further deepening of this partnership under your kind leadership to the mutual benefit of all stakeholders. and to actualize the dream of developing a robust financial market that will be recognized globally and meet the aspirations of Nigerians.
This collaboration is very important in order for us to have opportunity to help the government at the 3 tiers in improving its revenue generation capacity. Throughout the year 2020, the oil and gas industry witnessed a lot of challenges. So we witnessed a year like no other before, to the extent that it was only the stipend that we collect as taxes, the money that the Nigeria custom generate from their activities, that the 3 tiers of government were leveraging on. It got to a state that at a time, as little as we were generating, 70% of the money that these people gathered to share on a monthly basis came from FIRS alone. The challenge is enormous until agencies like you collaborate with us, support us, we will not be able to generate the required revenue that the 3 tiers of government needs as a nation to pay salary, to pay for service providers, and also to provide key infrastructure that the country requires.
We move on to the story of the historic end to the long-standing feud between the CITN and ICAN. On Monday, the 31st of May 2021, the executive chairman FIRS played host to high-power delegations from the CITN, ICAN and ANAN at Revenue House, Abuja. Dame Olajumoke Simplis, outgoing president of the CITN as at that day, captured the essence of the event this way.
Executive Chairman, I want to place on record that you have done what Napoleon could not do. I recall that APBN, the Association of Professional Body of Nigeria, has waded into this, and we go 1 step forward, 5 steps backward. And I remember that one of the founding members of this institute, Mr. Emmanuel Ijewere, called me and said, Jumoke, you are a woman. Onome is a woman. The 2 of you, you are dames. The 2 of you must come together and make sure that this squabbling is put to an end. And we started. Between us, we will talk. We will talk 2 hours, 3 hours, we will talk. We will go back. Our institute will say, no, 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 we cannot agree. And, you know, we are siblings. Siblings do quarrel. And at the end of the day, they need to come together. And that is what is happening today. My executive chairman, sir, thank you very much for that step of faith that you took to resolve this issue.
It is really a thing of joy for me that we have come here today and we are putting an end to this disturbing issue between these 3 bodies. I am glad and I'm thankful to God that He put the executive chairman in this office at this point in time. Because if he didn't have the wisdom to navigate us to where we are today, we would have been writing checks to pay our lawyers again to go for the next rounds of litigation that are ongoing. We will talk, we will agree, we will fix things to do, but we'll go back to our councils and they will say no, they were not interested. So I believe that when the executive chairman of FIRS now decided to call all of us together, it was a big, big relief for me as a person. And I did say to him in one of my discussions, I said, sir, whatever the committee that you are putting together decides, ICAN will respect that wish. I remember I made that request. I made it. I only plead with between that as much as possible, sir. let everybody's interests be recognized on this matter. And my first joy was that meeting we had in Lagos, when the executive chairman flew to Lagos to come and meet us. And at that meeting, he now said, okay, he has listened to everybody, and that he believes that we can resolve this matter. And then he set up a committee. The first thing that warmed my heart, he said to us, every professional body must bring 2 people to join that, but 1 must be a lawyer. And I knew that the solution had come with that comment. That's the 8 of them, FIRS, who will coordinate that session, ANAN, CITN, and ICAN must bring 1 lawyer and 1 member. So if you have 4 lawyers in a committee, you know the problem is solved to a large extent. And that was what happened. So I want to thank the executive chairman. You may not know what you have done. You have written your name as far as this profession and taxation. You have written your name in gold. We cannot thank you enough. On behalf of the 3 bodies that are here today, I want to say thank you very much to you. I make a commitment on behalf of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria that will respect this document that we execute today. Whatever we have decided as a group and we sign and execute it, we will follow it to the letter.
Dr. Nuruddin Abdullahi of ANAN, the 3rd party to the agreement, spoke in the same vein.
As we are all aware, we professional bodies have 2 key obligations or functions. 1, to protect the public interest, and 2nd, to protect our members' interest. Federal Revenue Service indeed is a bodyguard of the citizen. The Federal Revenue Service, as we are aware, raise finances for public works. So without finances, no public work can happen. Then the government cannot deliver on its basic requirement, that is protecting the security and welfare of the citizenry.
In his own remarks, the peace broker, the peacemaker, Mr. Muhammad Name, Executive Chairman FIRS, Chairman Joint Tax Board, had this to say.
This is an epoch-making event because for the very first time, ICAN, CITN, and ANA are coming together on 1 platform to affix their respective hands and seals to a document affirming their commitment to the growth and development of tax administration, tax compliance, tax practice in Nigeria. Following the disagreement and various court disputes since 2004 to date between ICAN and CITN on issue of tax practice, it became necessary that FIRS, under my leadership, should intervene by inviting the 3 sister professional bodies to Lagos for amicable resolution. It was this meeting that led to the setting up of the committee that have achieved this great result, which could not be achieved long before now. I salute and congratulate the committee members and the professional institutes that have cooperated to realize this success. It is my sincere and earnest hope that today marks the day that will strengthen the collaboration, cooperation, and willingness to work together on all sides. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to encourage you all to also explore other areas of synergy among the bodies like joint councils, standardization of academic syllabus and examinations, training, mutual observer status at AGMs, and paper contribution, among other areas in which I see cooperation in the nearest future. I hope and pray that before my time runs out, at the helm of affairs of tax administration in Nigeria, some, if not all of my suggestions here will have been entrenched as conventions and established practices across all esteemed professional bodies.
Thereafter, the agreement was signed by all the three parties. Talk about glorious ends to tenures. Dame Adewuyi and Dame Simplis have since handed over to their able successors. We move on to underscore and re-emphasize the commitment of his administration to best practices in tax administration while reducing corruption to the barest minimum. Mr. Muhammad Name on Tuesday the 1st of June played host to yet another delegation, this time from the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC. The ICPC delegation came on a mission to inaugurate the FIRS chapter of the Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit, ACTU. What is Act 2 and what are its objectives?
The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, in collaboration with the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, in 2001, initiated the creation of Act 2 in MDAs as part of preventive method in monitoring, identifying, and addressing lapses in the operational system of government establishment, especially where they are capable of engendering corruption and unethical practices with a view to correcting them.
As a service, we operate in an environment that requires us to display high moral and ethical conduct because of our daily interaction with the taxpayers, consultants, contractors, and other critical stakeholders. We therefore need to do everything possible to ensure that we create systems and structures that will enable our personnel to conduct themselves with integrity. I want to assure the ICPC that FIRS management will fully cooperate and give support to the unit to ensure that it properly carries out its duties.
It was then time for the inauguration of the members of the Act 2 FIRS chapter.
So I do solemnly swear or affirm that as a member of the Anti-Corruption and Transparency Unit of will display high levels of personal integrity and accountability in all my undertakings, that I will, to the best of my ability.
Mr. M.L. Abubakar, Coordinating Director, Executive Chairman's Group and Head of Act 2 FIRS Chapter, pledged the commitment of the members of the unit to the task at hand. You are still on to tax matters. We continue this exciting journey into the world of information and education on taxation by telling you the story of the elevation of 203 associate members of the CITN to the rank of fellows. What does it take to become a fellow of the Institute?
Distinguished professional colleagues, having spent a minimum of 5 years as an associate member of the Institute, and also distinguish yourself in your chosen field of taxation, and you have fulfilled all your obligations to the Institute, the Council of the Institute have found you worthy of being admitted into the exalted status of Fellowship of the Institute.
Special guest of honor at the occasion was Senator Eta Inang, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Niger Delta Affairs.
When I asked what should I speak on, I was asked to speak on any matter that is of contemporary nature in the finance space. So, in consultation with your men, and leaders, I choose the topic, Nigeria, adopting best practices in external borrowing and debt sustainability. Please, one thing I would want to emphasize here is that when you hear the president write to the National Assembly requesting for approval for loan to be taken, that loan is not always for the federal government. The loan are sometimes for the state government, for state government infrastructure. But given the fact that international relations and international finance management does not recognize subnationals in terms of as sovereigns that are entitled to approach the international finance market to raise capital, it is only nation states or sovereigns that are recognized. That is why under the Debt Management Act, under the Finance Act, under the Fiscal Responsibility Act, you can only have, it is only the country, Nigeria, that can approach the World Bank, the international, all that multilateral and multinational finance institutions to raise loans. So when you say we are borrowing, president is borrowing too much, the president is not borrowing for federal programs and projects only. The president is asking for borrowing to be given so that states can handle their infrastructure.
And then the high point of the event.
I do solemnly declare that I shall always comply with the provisions of the Institute's Charter, bear true allegiance to the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria,
you are all welcome to the 29th Annual General Meeting of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria.
On Wednesday, the 2nd of June, the CITN held its 29th Annual General Meeting. Top on the agenda of the 29th AGM were the adoption of the minutes of the 28th AGM held in 2020, the laying before the General Meeting of the Report of Council, the adoption of the financial statement for the period January to December 2020, and to appoint the auditors, as well as the fixing of their remuneration by Council, and most importantly, the election of new members into the Council of the Institute. One major high point of the AGM was the presentation of the scorecard of the 2019 to 2021 presidency of Dame Olajumoke Simplis. And then the presentation of the scrutineer's report of the election into council, which was done online by members. 3 new members were elected onto the council. Mr. Adeyemi Sheriff Sonny, who is the current chairman of the Lagos District Society of the CITN, Mr. Monday Emeke Nwabozo, the immediate past chairman of the Abuja District Society of the Institute, and Mr. Olurotimi Ishola Akimbade, one-time chairman, Ekiti State Internal Revenue Service, and now a state coordinator at the FIRS. Mrs. Justina Okoro was returned to council for another term. Here is wishing the returning and new council members the very best. Last but not the least on our offering today is the story of the investiture of Mr. Adeshino Adedayo, FCTI FCA, as the 15th president of the CITN. The event took place in Lagos on Saturday, the 5th of June 2021. It was a grand occasion which attracted the creme de la creme of the taxation, accounting and finance sectors of the Nigerian economy. Special guest of honor at the occasion was Professor Muhammad Mainoma, the immediate past president of the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN. Dame Olajumoke Simplis, the outgoing president, seized the occasion to present her valedictory speech. And then the presentation and decoration of the president-elect, Mr. Adeshino Adedayo. More highlights from the investiture of Mr. Adeshino Adedayo, as well as fuller details of all the events that we have featured on today's bumper episode, will come to you in subsequent episodes of Tax Matters. Remember, for information and education on taxation, this is home. Thank you for watching. See you next week. Bye for now.